Welcome, brothers, sisters, and extended soul family, to another reading. Now, this one's inspired by the full moon that just happened, which was a pink full moon. And this full moon in particular is tied to energies and meanings around renewal and rebirth, harvest. It's like that first full moon after the official start of spring, usually. So it's associated with that energy of everything beginning to become like green and verdant and bloom once again. So, what I'm asking in this reading, with your three beautiful piles here, is simply what's renewing in your life right now, and what blessing or blessings are going to come from that in the near future. So, for those of you who are watching this right now, this has the intentions of being from that pink full moon to the next full moon. So, kind of like a lunar cycle, but halfway to halfway. And then for those of you who are watching this whenever, because it's a timeless reading, it just is going to be looking at the energies happening in the next like 2 to 3 weeks of your life. So if you're watching this in the future and one of these piles resonates with you, that just means like you're renewing some energy, and it feels kind of like what a lot more energy feels like during a pink moon. It doesn't mean renewal energy is exclusive to said pink moon. With that, I will introduce you to one of the significator cards for each of your piles, and you can pause the video to, and right after that, I will be grabbing a crystal to go with each of these piles in case you want to pick that way. And then we'll just jump right in. So let me introduce some cards to help you pick if you like that. For the first card, we have Bliss is worth creating from, for, and from. So a little bit of like a cyclical message on this card. For pile 2, the significator card says celebrate your wins, and it has a rooster on it. And pile 3 says creator, specifically with the element of air. So, if one of those speaks to you, or more than one of them speaks to you, you can go ahead and pick your piles now. If you want to pause to take more time, you can do that. And I'm going to grab some crystals for you to pick with if you enjoy that. So for pile 1, I have Silver Sheen Obsidian. It's a butterfly with a skull carved in on the front. So that's for pile number 1. For pile number 2, we have the Phrenite Tower. These ones are just so cool. See if we can get that to focus for you. There we go. The Phrenite Tower with one raw side on it. Pretty sweet. So we'll put that here for you. And pile 3 has a beautiful piece of raw rose quartz. And I love the darkness and also like the orangey hue in this one. So enough about my opinions. That's for pile number 3. If you feel called to it. Okay. If you want more time to select your piles, you can pause the video here. There are no right or wrong answers. If you feel drawn to one pile or maybe several, even all of the piles, trust your intuition. If you feel drawn to none of the piles, don't force it. I have other readings. There are other wonderful readers out there. And you can always find more information for you. You might also find that this video resonates later in life. It's okay. If you do want more readings, you can always check out our Patreon, where we post additional readings over there for you guys. And you get to help me pick what the topics of our readings will be. So, with that, the last thing I will present you with to help pick your piles with, in case you're interested, are tarot decks. I have one selected for each of the piles. So for pile number 1, we have the Midnight Magic tarot deck, which is all mushroom based. So if you're in to the fungus, the fungus community and culture, maybe it speaks to you. I don't know. And for pile number 2, we have the Wandering Spirit Tarot. This one's really nice. I love the foiled edges. So we will place that at the base of pile 2. And lastly, for pile number 3, we have the Pink Gothic Tarot. The super fun pattern on the back. A little more playful than the other two, perhaps. And we'll leave that there. Take all the time that you need. Pause if you need to. And I will see you in the reading. Welcome, my dears, to pile number 1. So if you selected this pile based on the fungus or Midnight Magic Mushroom Tarot deck, you found the right pile. We're going to put the tarot cards aside for a minute. Or if you selected our pile based on the Silver Sheen Obsidian Skull Butterfly, we'll put that up here, actually. That looks good. Or if you selected with your first significator card, Bliss is Worth Creating from, for, and from, this pile is for you. So, one thing that I heard when I was holding up your crystal here is pattern of rebirth, which is a lot of what we're talking about, since we're asking in this reading about what is renewing in your life and what blessing or blessings is that going to bring to you soon. So in the next couple weeks, or during this phase of full moon to full moon, if you're watching it right now or near a full moon. And that's kind of why I picked the 2 Silver Sheen snake crystals to join us, because snakes are big symbolically in their ability to represent like the pattern of death and rebirth with the way that they like shed their skins. So I don't know how much specifically that means for you, other than I guess the crystal was a good choice. But we'll put your first significator card maybe in the middle, under the butterfly. It seems to do well with the butterfly. There's something about like the heart being like above the antennas that was like really pleasing to me, which means it could have significance. I don't know. But we have 2 other significator cards for you that we'll look at. Your first one is a dog spirit with number 19. It says, be loyal to what you love. And I'm kind of getting the energy for some of you out there that this isn't like a person. This message isn't meant to be mistaken for like being loyal to like a family member or a significant other. And for some of you, like, I'm sure it is, and I'm not telling you neglect those kinds of people. But for a lot of you, I'm getting that this message is more about like be loyal to things that you love doing. Like make sure you're making time and reserving like some energy and resources to be able to allocate those towards what you love. So like if you're growing a hobby or a business, or you have a pastime that you do that helps you like regulate and feel balanced and normalized, be loyal to that and like make sure that just because life feels really chaotic or crazy or busy or stressful, don't like lose sight of the fact that you can still, to whatever extent, like enjoy what's helping you like get through these crazy times, if some of you are going through crazy times. So if that message resonated, I'll leave it there for you, because you know who you are if it does. And then our other significator card for you is number 45, and it's the Seer. The Seer card embodies the energy of intuition and being able to, on an illogical level, understand what things are. So it goes beyond, like, not illogical as in like how we think of illogical as being like, stupid or not well thought out, but illogical in the sense of your logical mind isn't able to understand or read the energies of the situation the way an intuitive lens would be able to. So I think that there's a call here to follow your intuition, and it will kind of discern like what you love and what you don't love, and what's worth focusing on and pursuing in this new little phase of your life. And it will very clearly show you like what to be loyal to and put your time, effort, attention, and focus on. Um, just in that I'm hearing like you should be pursuing like what you love right now, which I think is why I liked putting the heart like above the butterfly, because then it looks like it's like flying towards it. So it's like facing love and what it loves. And I think you're being called to just like focus on and pursue what you truly enjoy and what you love, because when we follow those passions that we can't explain why we're passionate about them, but we are, and it like lights up like our day or our night, our eyes, our life, like when we enjoy that thing or person, um, that's something where we're called to go in that direction, but we can't explain why. And I know a lot of people don't explain that as intuition. They think intuition is like trusting your gut about judging whether a situation is good or bad, generally. But I think that in this instance, intuition is being used because the human language, or languages can sometimes like lack the ability to put certain messages in words, and the cards are limited. So like you just have to trust me, I guess, as your reader. So like thank you for choosing me. But there's a call here to understand that our inexplicable and inexplainable like passions and loves that we want to pursue that bring us bliss, happiness, fulfillment, love, and give us the ability and the capacity to share that with like others or the world around us. That is a form of following your intuition, um, because like on a profound foundational level, you know what that feeling is for you, what it means for you, even though like your logical mind can never actually explain why you feel that way about the thing if you keep asking deeper and deeper questions. It's just something you enjoy, something you're called to do, and like that's okay. And if other people don't think it's okay, and whatever it is you enjoy doing isn't like hurting anyone else or the world around you, then they can take their judgments somewhere else because they don't mean anything to you, or they shouldn't. But I think what we'll do, because I think for like the renewal, some of you in this group or in this pile are like reigniting an old passion. You're like renewing it, like you're finding it again after you like let go of it for a while or you forgot that you liked it because it's been so long. And it's reigniting with like a much more intense passion or love for whatever it is. And I think for some of you, this is like finding something new that you didn't know you liked before. Like maybe it's something you always wanted to try, or maybe you're gonna run into someone who like introduces you to something new altogether that like you weren't expecting to go do and you actually really like it. I'm not sure. So, what we're gonna do is I think we're gonna grab your tarot cards. I pointed at them off screen. We're gonna grab your tarot cards and get a little bit more information. I also think that for some of you, your center significator card and the word creating on it caught my eye. I think that for some of you, the blessing that's going to come from this is like you're gonna create something really beautiful. And I'm hearing like something that you feel like you've been lacking, or I'm hearing is worth needing, but I don't know what that means. I'm hearing for some of you like the worth needing message. It's something that you're going to create where you're going to incorporate it in like basically a daily or multiple times a weekly routine. And it's going to be something where like some people feel like they need their energy drink or their coffee every morning. You're going to feel like you need this thing every day, or you just like don't feel right or don't feel balanced. So for maybe some of you, it's like a healthier routine or exercise routine, or it's like meditation or grounding. Maybe some of you just have like passion or hobby that when you actually enjoy it, it just helps you like reset and balance and understand that like your life can actually be crafted around what you like and it's heading in the direction that you want it to be heading. You know, it's going towards your dreams, not away from them. And I think like enjoying the hobby is what's going to create it, this new like habit of just being able to have it every single day. And then having it every single day is going to like create a more like blissful reality. And I think that's what this card is talking from with bliss is worth creating from and for. Like enjoying the hobby creates more bliss, and then the bliss you create allows you to find ways to enjoy the hobby more in terms of like you'll have the motivation or the energy or the drive to go do it even if you're exhausted or being pulled in like 20 different directions. You'll find a way anyway because you really, really want to. And I keep feeling like this card on the back of the deck wants to say hi. So we're going to grab it and we're going to see what these cards are. So the card that I grabbed is the Knight of Swords. And your other two cards are the Four of Pentacles and the Five of Swords, which is interesting. With the Five of Swords for sure, we'll start there. With the Five of Swords for sure, I'm getting, for a lot of you, this has to do with other people in your life not supporting whatever you're called to go do. And I don't think these people are necessarily like in a position where they could truly keep you from doing it. You're kind of giving them a lot more power than they actually like deserve um, to have in your life or be rewarded of. And this card keeps flying off. So what are you? The Three of Wands. Here we go. The Three of Wands. And I think that like a lot of what's happening is, for some of you, these are like people that you care about, but maybe there's just like one or two certain aspects or opinions that they have that they're very like vocal um, or very like pushy with, very assertive with, that you take seriously or take to heart, and it's holding you back. And I think intuitively you know that like even though these people aren't necessarily bad people, for some of you out there, like you know them, I don't. This is a general reading, take it with a grain of salt. But maybe they don't have like bad intentions. They're just trying to like, from their point of view, steer you in the quote right direction, or like keep you from making what they would consider a ridiculous, outlandish, like silly, dumb choice. But that's just because like they're not you, and their values and perceptions are different. And for a lot of them, they've locked themselves in a mental box with their own like limitations. And because they think like, oh, there's no way like I could ever do that, that gets applied to everybody. So they're like, people don't do that, which means like you don't do that. Or you could never like actually like accomplish that, and that's ridiculous to like think you can. So it's just not worth pursuing anyway. And so they're trying to, in their way, like keep you from wasting a lot of like your time or effort, or like for some of you, like quitting your job and pursuing your dreams. I know it's a pretty like dramatic example. Or stop like going down a rabbit hole that they deem would be like dangerous or a waste of time. But like here's the thing is like they don't get to tell you what's a waste of time or not, because what they think is like ridiculous and a waste of time because they don't see anything to gain from it. If you gain joy from doing something that's like a total waste of time to somebody else, and it's not like hurting anyone, you're not dropping your responsibilities for it, then like it's not an actual waste of time. Like I'm hearing the lyrics, time isn't wasted when you're getting wasted, by um, by Asher Ross. And I think that that's like really important for you here, is that just because someone else deems a certain activity, hobby, pastime, object, whatever it is, as like useless, worthless, a waste of time or space, doesn't mean that like you do, and it doesn't mean you need to like take them seriously. And instead you can tell them like, this is important to me, and if you genuinely care about me and what's best for me, like you'll respect that. And like you don't have to enjoy it, or like we don't have to talk about it, but it means a lot to me. And if you respect the fact that it means a lot to me, like you'll back off. So some people might like need just like a talking to. And for some of you, that might have to be really stern and somewhat assertive and aggressive and harsh boundaries. And for others of you, to give yourself the space to enjoy this thing you've been called to enjoy, it might just be letting them know, because this other person like genuinely didn't know that your viewpoint was so different from theirs. It's not because you haven't told them, it's just or that they weren't listening. It's just that like they couldn't hear it the right way until you had a really serious conversation or said it different. Like some people just get so in their heads, it's you'd be surprised what they can and can't hear, um, no matter how many different ways you say it. So that's kind of what I'm seeing, for the Five of Swords energy here. Is I think that there's a little bit of cruelty happening, and for some of you it could be purposeful, but for a lot of you I'm seeing that like these other people don't know how damaging they're being by holding you back from something that like feels like a true passion or calling. And so like part of what you're renewing is just your resolve and your strength to go do these things by like just not caring about what these other people think of you, and if they're worth keeping in your life, and they're good for you, they're healthy, like, and they love you, they'll understand. They might still think it's stupid, and like maybe they'll tease you about it every now and then, like playfully, of course, not like harassment or anything. But they will like still enjoy you as a person, and they'll back off even if they don't condone the thing. Um, if they're meant to like be very involved in your life or in this aspect of it, because it could just be that like you go do this thing and like just no one talks about it if you need it to be. With the Knight of Swords over the dog, what I'm seeing is the energy of just like you go get it. You know how like you can chuck a ball or a toy and you tell the dog fetch and it just goes for it. Like it wants that thing, it doesn't question it, it launches immediately. Usually you saying fetch is like more or less useless. It was going to do it whether or not you opened your mouth. That's kind of the energy I'm getting here of the drive of like you see the thing you want, and it doesn't matter how fast you think it's moving away from you or how far away it's going or who sent it like so far away. Like it's yours and you want it, so you're going to go get it, and you get it way quicker than you think you're going to, because eventually you outpace the thing that you are pursuing. That's kind of what I'm seeing here, is like you don't there's no questions, there's surety, there's like that calm focus that you have when you're really driven to do something. Like there's no doubt, and it doesn't feel bad to go get it, and you don't feel shame going to go get it, and after you get it, like you don't regret getting it afterwards. And I think that with the Knight of Swords, this is just like the energy of moving in the direction of pursuing your dreams. I think the Suit of Swords is really important here too, because swords embody a lot of energies around spoken words, as well as like some mental clarity. And I think that for you, the Knight of Swords here is talking a lot about how maybe you are going to have like these conversations with people to give yourself space to go do what you want. I'm hearing for a lot of you, like maybe saying this out loud, like spoken words, can actually help like draw this to you closer, or not closer, faster. So maybe for some of you, like a good manifestation technique for you right now is actually just like telling yourself that you're going to go do this thing and you're going to go have this thing. Like the actual vocal out loud affirmations will help you with like your confidence and bringing this to you sooner. I also want to say, like, the Knight of Swords does have the energy of not just talking things out, but like coming out on the other end with the advantage. So this can be thought of as like winning an argument. And I'm not saying everyone out there is going to get in arguments, but like in this time period of renewal for you, like the words that you're speaking have the ability to like get out of a lot of situations and put yourself in an advantageous point. So if that means arguments, that means arguments. If it means affirming to yourself so that you manifest faster and move towards what you want faster, like that's what that means. And if for some of you it means like having difficult conversations to set up good boundaries so you have like the space to go do what you want, like that's what that means too. But either way, I think like words right now are going to be like really powerful for you for clearing the way and freeing up yourself to go get what you want and like keeping that power for yourself to go pursue what you want. Okay, so for the Four of Pentacles, this card's really interesting in this instance because normally the Four of Pentacles, um, albeit it's very stable, it's stable for an interesting reason. So the Four of Pentacles can symbolize a lot of greed. And it's a very like miserly energy of holding on to what you have, like not necessarily wanting to share. And so it can mean like security in the material world and success, especially if you're talking about like finances or like attracting or receiving like physical things or materials or items, belongings that you really want. But the flip side of that and where the miserly energy and the greed comes in is getting too attached to things. And for you, I'm seeing that this thing that you're pursuing, because it feels so good to actually go enjoy it, like it is bliss, and bliss is very intoxicating. For some of you, there is a warning. If you have like an addictive personality or tendencies, or you haven't gotten to enjoy something in like a really long time, and so it's just like really, really fun. There's a slight warning here in the Four of Pentacles to just not get. Um, I'm hearing blindsided for some of you, but I think what that means is to not get like too tunnel visioned to the point where you let other important things in your life go. So there's a reminder of just like to balance what you're doing, and when you get like a taste of this goodness, like you can still go after it and you can find that balance between you still do things to like take care of yourself or like show up for responsibilities you do have that you can't allocate or let go of in a way that's healthy for you and people involved. Like a good example is if you have like a family that you're taking care of or kids or something that you're responsible for raising, and you go start pursuing this new hobby that you really love, it doesn't mean like the energy here is just warning against like starting to neglect like your family or your kids to go do this thing, you know? Like if like dancing or traveling, let's say, is like this newfound love that you have, it means that you know you go travel or you go to dance conventions when you want to and when you can, but you're not doing things like forgetting to go grocery shopping because you're not home that much, or like you decide to go to a dance convention instead of go to like a really important football game. for your kid, or like you skip out on like their graduation or their birthday weekend or something like that. Stuff like that, where it's like if it's a responsibility that still means a lot to you, um, maybe you allocate like a little less time to it and you burn yourself out less on it, but you're not like dropping it altogether if that's something that like you would feel bad about later or wouldn't be good for you. So there's just a like a slight warning here about mediate, moderate. Too much of anything can be a bad thing. Okay, like water can be poison if you have too much of it, or you can just drown. So that's kind of the warning here. But the other thing I'm seeing with the Four of Pentacles is that whatever you've been wanting to pursue for a really long time, like the groundwork has been laid. And I think that for almost all of you out there across the board, this was laid unknowingly. I think that your higher self has been doing a lot to more or less like get the proverbial stars to align for you. Um, and I think that the universe has been like matching that. And so now it's at the point where like your conscious physical self could take steps to like build upon that groundwork or like walk down the path that's like already been laid by your higher self in the universe, because they've been conspiring for you. Like that's what they do. Because you know, like we all deserve to love ourselves, and your higher self's been working really hard on that. So it's at the point where it's like now you, your physical conscious self, just needs to take that step forward. Um, and everything will be okay. Like the Four of Pentacles is very stable, you know. This is like solid construction that's gonna probably outlast you. um, Instead of like a tower moment where you're gonna take a step and on this structure and everything's gonna fall down. Like this is a really good, solid, encouraging energy to move forward like on when you're going and pursuing this thing with the dog and the Knight of Pentacles. So the last card we have to talk about is the Three of Wands down here. And the first thing I'm getting is that some of you might be surprised how after you have this conversation, some of these people, it might take them a little bit of time and they might like flip on a dime and do it right away. But I'm seeing that like some of these people that you're talking to about like, hey, I'm gonna go do this thing because I'm called to do it, I'm passionate about it, and it's for me, even if it's not for you. I'm seeing that some of these people will actually like turn around and they'll support you in what you're doing, and they'll be like really impressed with what you've been able to achieve. Because for a lot of them, like you're gonna be a wake up moment on teaching them about limiting beliefs and what is possible, and they're gonna see you like be happy for one and just achieve these new things later on for another. And both of those things are going to inspire them. And I see for a lot of them, they're going to come back to you and like they're going to feel bad. And they're actually going to like apologize and be like, I'm really sorry I ever like doubted you or told you no. It's just like I didn't think this was ever something that like was possible. So I didn't want you to like waste your time, but you know, it wasn't my place to limit you. Like, will you forgive me? You know? And I think for a lot of you out there, like you're actually a teaching moment for these other people. And some of them are gonna get like really, really into it, and they're gonna be like your biggest cheerleader, and they're gonna do what they can, like whether that's time, effort, or just quite literally cheering you on, to support you in any way possible. Because the Three of Wands is about like teamwork and Collaboration. That's what a lot of the threes do. The Three of Wands has a lot of symbolism around trusting yourself, because you understand your creative power, and a lot of this manifests in the physical world in a way to where we perceive it as like you get really lucky a lot. So you're kind of like creating your own luck in a way. And there's putting plans into action through said creativity. So this is reiterating like a lot of what we said, but I think it's really encouraging. One, on the side note of if we're talking about teamwork, like a lot of these people having a change of heart and being really supportive of you, either immediately after the conversation or later on. You know, be patient if they need time. If you think they'll have a change of heart and they're healthy to still keep around and talk about this too. Um, and I think that the reiteration of telling you like you are really powerful and you can do this, and a lot of why other people might not understand what you're doing or how or why is because like you are in this instance being like really creative and innovative, and it'll stump a lot of people. It'll be like unrelatable to them perhaps, or at least to some people. um and I think that you've already done a lot of like creating your own luck and like laying the groundwork, but now it's gonna feel like things just kind of click into place or fall into place. You're like finding that last piece of the puzzle that like you couldn't find, and maybe a lot of people told you like you were never gonna find, and then you find it, you put it in, and everything just like lines up for you great. So that's the energy I'm getting here. It's really exciting. I'm so happy for you. As far as, the blessing or blessings that are coming into your life, we got some about fortune for those of you where this might turn into something lucrative. And for a lot of you, I'm hearing if it is going to be something lucrative, for most of you, you're not going to expect it to ever turn into something like money, and it's going to happen a little later on outside of the 2 to 3 week period. But for those of you who are expecting it to be lucrative, you'll start getting like nibs or like breadcrumbs that kind of show you like this is going to make you a lot of money, even if you don't get like a big windfall in the beginning. Like it's worth continuing to pursue and build upon, is what I'm hearing, because this is the Four of Pentacles. You're like in the first half of your cycle, not at the end with like the 9 and the 10 yet. Um, and the biggest blessing from all of this, regardless of if it's making money or making new friends or new supporters that are going to help you, whatever it is, it's like creating a life that has a lot more bliss in it, and there's stuff that you're doing or enjoying that like are very blissful for you. And when you enjoy those things, people, activities, whatever they are, it puts you in that like frequency and energy of bliss, and you attract more of that to you. So then you're creating more of this from a point of bliss. And so it's going to be this little like cyclical thing, like the card talked about here with the from and the for crossed off, where it's going to have like a very snowball effect to allow you to, as long as you like pursue things that bring you happiness and bliss, integrate more and more of that into your life, so that far beyond these next couple weeks or this lunar cycle that we're talking about, you're gonna experience a lot more of this. Like this is kind of laying the groundwork for like not just a cycle, but like a life that you're happy to lead, if that's what you're looking for. So that's a really exciting, super positive note. I'm so happy for you. And I think I'm going to leave the reading with that because that's really, really cool. And I, it's a general reading, so I have no idea what the heck you're doing specifically, but I would love to hear all about it if you're willing to share. So you can leave a comment in this video and let me know or support other pile ones, your fellow pile ones. Or if you want to keep things more private, you can email us. Our email is in the video description. And we won't share that information, but then I still get to get some spilled tea. And if you love any of the crystals in this video, or if you want to like keep this as a memento because it's your pile, then you can go to our website, which is in the link. It's linked in the description, but it's lunaticclick.com. And you can actually buy your crystal if like that meant something to you, or if you just think any of them look cool. And the other things you can do, of course, you can just like or subscribe if you want to see more readings later. It's totally free, costs you absolutely nothing, I promise. Or you can join our Patreon where we'll upload extra readings. Sometimes we do extendeds on our readings, and we have all these different tiers to give you extra perks and boosts and like free discounts for our store if you're into it. But don't feel obligated, to give us money. I just feel like I would rather you get something back than just have like a donations page up, because some people were asking for donations or like how to give me donations, and I was like, but if I do that, like you don't get anything and I want you to have something. So that's my solution. You can buy something from us or join our Patreon. So that you get extra stuff. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you so much again for allowing me to be your reader, and I'm wishing you like all the luck and love and happiness moving forward. And I'll catch you next time in a brand new reading. Welcome, my dears, to pile number 2. So if you picked this pile based on your tarot cards being the Wandering Spirit Tarot, I'll hold this up to the camera one more time, then you have found the right pile. If you picked your pile based on your crystal, which is the Phrenite Tower with a raw edge, look how cool that is. You have also found the correct pile, or your chosen pile. I'm going to put that at the top. And lastly, if you picked this pile with the first significator card of Celebrate Your Wins with the rooster, then you, once again, have found the right pile. So for those of you who skipped the intro, I do want to mention that like what we're doing in this reading is we're asking about like what is being renewed in your life and what blessing or blessings are you going to see from that renewal or receive from that renewal. So it's a timeless reading. If you're watching it now, it's lunar cycle, but like halfway through, so full moon to full moon. And for those of you who aren't anywhere near like a full moon or anything like that, this is just the next like 2 to 3 weeks of your life. This is the energy you're gonna go through. So I have 3 significator cards that we'll look at first. And after those, we'll grab your tarot cards, which I'm pointing to off screen, and we will ask for some extra details. So let's get into it. We'll keep your Celebrate Your Wins card in the middle. And I think it's interesting, I put the tower pointing to the right And then the rooster is also facing to the right. So I think there's something about moving in the right direction, or like you're moving in the direction that you perceive as the direction you want to go. Let's put it that way. We'll see what that is. Oh, and then this card came face up, so I just left it face up. But you have the Tree of Life, which we'll actually put on the right. And then on the other side, we have the Stag Spirit, which says, take the lead. I think you have some pretty powerful energies. I think your renewal process is just renewing your ability to use them. We'll see if I can make that make sense as I talk about your cards. I want to start with the Tree of Life. So the Tree of Life symbolizes the call to action to be a conscious creator. So this is energy that acknowledges your power to get things done, but it also recognizes that you are someone who has like a deep understanding and knowing to them of like what you want to do. And for some of you, I'm hearing what you're here to do. So this is like you can tap in to your subconscious and the divine, or like listen to your intuition or your heart to understand like what really drives you in this lifetime and what you want to do, perceive, feel, achieve, enjoy, whatever it may be. But there's also this balance of that energy with being present in the physical world to actually get that stuff done and enjoy it. So to explain that in like a different way, it's like if you're just going through the motions, like just mechanically going through the motions that is your life, then tapping into like your feelings and your heart and your desires can help steer you on the right course to get it to feel like you're actually living a life worth living instead of going through the motions. But if you're spending all of your time like wishing and wanting and daydreaming about what stuff could be, but then you never actually like take steps or chances to go do that or any of that, or start to go try to do any of the things that you like really, really crave or want to go do, um, then you're off balance in the other direction where like physically you're not necessarily like doing enough. Um, Even though all of the feelings and desires and wants are there. So the Tree of Life, in the call to action to be a conscious creator, it's more of a finesse call to action to be like balanced. And so for those of you who are going through the motions of a life, the take the lead call to action from the stag is encouraging you to start standing up for yourself, advocating for yourself, fighting for yourself, to put time, effort, energy aside, resources aside, whatever it is, to like go pursue what you want to pursue or change the way that you think about and perceive your life, um, to make it feel like it's actually worth living. So, like, if there's a passion you want to go do, there's people you want to go hang out with, like, find a way to go enjoy opportunities revolving around those things. Or, like, start giving, like, spending time giving thanks or practicing gratitude for what you have, and just start like embodying those emotions more. And you'll be amazed at how, after doing that regularly for a short period of time, maybe like a couple weeks or something, um, you'll start finding more things to be grateful for, and more things that you are grateful for will attract to you and show up in your life. And it might start small at first, but it'll snowball. And for those of you who are on the other side of this, the flip side, I guess, of pile two, where you're doing all of like the daydreaming and the wants and the needs, but you're not doing a lot like in the physical world. Like I'm hearing some people, for some of you, not everyone, don't get offended. Some people like might classify you as like a bum. Because you're just like, you're not doing a lot. Like you're existing, you're here, you're like checking back into your body every day and walking around and eating food or saying hi to people or whatever it is. But like you're not doing anything. Like everything is the same old, and the world changes around you, but you don't seem to like grow or change with it. Um, and or in parallel to it. And I think that for those of you out there that kind of feel like you might be in that category, and you know who you are, so I don't have to tell you. um, for those of you out there that that applies to you, then your take the lead is very different, where instead your take the lead call to action is to start taking actions or doing things in the physical world that can set yourself up for success and line yourself up with opportunities to do what you want, or quite literally just going out and like start doing what you want. So like manifesting is interesting because there's like a lot of different parts to it, and it's like a lot of manifestation techniques talk about visualizing, right? Like the coach or whoever it is, advisor, they'll tell you like you sit down and you visualize like having what you want or being where you want, whatever it is, and then like you like visualize it over and over and over again until like imaginatively it looks real, it feels real, like you can hear the things, you can smell the stuff, you can taste the stuff, whatever it is. And after you engage all the five senses, like it'll just come to you, right? But there's another very real part of that, of like in the physical world, it's helpful if you set yourself up in a position to where you can actually receive that stuff that you're trying to manifest. So, for example, if you're trying to manifest like a new partner, a new significant other, like your soulmate or your twin flame, a new friend group, whatever it is, if you're a shut in that never goes outside and like doesn't regularly bathe and like gets all of their food and groceries and everything else like through Amazon and Grubhub and online, and you like literally don't leave your house, like how are you going to find somebody? Like it's not impossible, the universe can always find a way. But you would put yourself in a position to where you're much more likely to see your desires get manifested quicker, um, if you take care of yourself and clean yourself up and then actually like uh, just go outside and like do what you want to do. You're just more likely to bump into people, and one of those people might be one of the people you've been manifesting. So there you go. Like that that's my example for this. And I'm not saying you guys have to be manifesting. I'm just saying like if you're doing a lot of daydreaming, but like no part of you is matching that energy in the physical world, it's going to be pretty hard. Like part of getting what you want is acting as if. So if you're not doing like the acting part in the physical world, you're just doing the daydreaming, it's going to be really hard for the universe to be able to match that because your energy is slightly conflicting and you're making your circumstances like really difficult for um like the energies around you to help you out, if that makes sense. I hope it does. So with the rooster card and the celebrate your wins, this one is a little bit of like a conundrum because it feels like it stands apart from these two cards, and I feel like for some of you, celebrate your wins is partially how you're going to bring yourself more into balance to consciously create. Like, give yourself credit for what you've achieved and how far you've come. Like, I think a lot of people forget that, like, life is just hard and overwhelming. And it's because we normalize doing things that we once perceived as being insurmountable. So it doesn't feel amazing anymore when we do it regularly and everyone around us does it regularly. So, like, I'll give you an example. Um, I don't think a lot of people remember this exact memory, but if you do, like, congrats, because it's a really good one to remember. But, like, the first time you successfully tie your shoe is like a really big deal. Um, because it's like this complex task that needs like finesse motor movements. And the first time like a kid can actually tie their shoes by themselves, they're like over the moon about it, right? But but now, as an adult, for those of you who are adults watching this, which you all should be, because I'm not claiming to be a kid friendly channel ever. So as an adult, tying your shoe, like no one ever celebrates that. Like no one's gonna be like, oh, congratulations, you tied your shoe. Like let's go celebrate or like get ice cream or dessert or like you're great for that, right? Like no one does that. And if they did, it would feel weird for a lot of you, I'm betting. Like very like not pandering, but like condescending and strange, definitely. And it's because like at one point we thought that was a big achievement, and it was, and technically it's still amazing that like we could actually have like two hands that we know how to like very coordinatedly use to do this thing, which is tying a knot in a very specific way, which takes like a logical mind. And there's like so many neurons that have to fire and so many cells that have to act in the right way. And like you know, your muscles have to flex the right way and your brain has to know what it's doing. And you have to be consciously aware for that. And all this stuff, like there's a lot that goes into tying a shoe. You can ask neuroscientists. And it's like it's just an average thing we do, so it's not impressive or amazing anymore. And I think that for some of you out there, like celebrating your wins is understanding that like it's amazing that you're here and you've made it this far. And just because you're doing something simple like getting out of bed doesn't mean people are going to throw you a party, but like you can still be proud of yourself and love yourself for taking the steps that feel mundane or regular that like just make you feel good about existing and being a person. And I know it sounds really simple, and for some of you out there, I'm hearing it probably sounds really lame, but like when you stop and you slow down and you just give yourself credit for doing all the little things you do every day, um, you'll start to feel better about yourself and be more patient with yourself and like take it easy on yourself. Because for some of you, I'm seeing like what's throwing you out of balance a lot is like there's a lot being asked of you, and not all of it is fair, and not all of it's from you. Like you could have a really demanding job, a really ununderstanding family or friend circle that is just constantly demanding or assuming you're going to be doing a lot of stuff and pulling a lot of the weight. And it doesn't mean that you're in a position where you could drop all of that or feel good about dropping all of it or even want to drop all of it, but it does mean that like just because you feel like you're falling behind because you're asked to do an impossible amount of stuff doesn't mean you're a failure, and it doesn't mean that you're not succeeding every single day in different ways. It just means that like you have to take a step back and recognize when a situation is impossible and move on from that rather than assuming you're a failure because you're not achieving what is probably quite literally impossible. Like if you're being asked to do 20 hours worth of tasks in a 4-hour time frame, there's no reason for you to feel like you're not a winner. Instead, you should be looking at the situation and going like, yeah, there's a no wonder I'm not doing all this, but this doesn't mean like I'm any less amazing. It means I'm in a crappy situation and I got dealt a really shitty hand. And I think that celebrating your wins for a lot of you is just talking about like changing your frame of mind and your lens for how you approach things. Because when you evaluate everything and you're able to see yourself for what you are, which is quite successful and impressive, it'll empower you to make the changes you need to make that are healthy, but also empower you to go out on a limb and do all these cool things that maybe you want to do, but you haven't felt like you're worthy of doing. So there's a lot here in this Celebrate Your Wins card. And the other simple thing I'm seeing is that some of you will be celebrating a lot of wins very soon after you actually like take the lead. Like it'll just feel like you have a lot more successes and wins and things to celebrate in your life. And I feel like for some of you who feel very like it's hard to explain, but for some of you who feel like maybe you're not worthy like of having wins, or you feel like you're not allowed to celebrate your wins, or you have wins and you convince yourself that they're not actually that big of a deal, I think that that will start to fall away as you either change your mindset or actually like go start living your life for you. And what I see with the rooster here and like these lines around him, to me, they look like little sound waves. And it's like you won't be apologetic about living your life anymore or like doing things for you. Instead, you'll be happy. And as long as you're not like bothering or harming or anyone else, you won't mind living your life loudly, which is another way of saying like living your life the way you want to and not being like ashamed or apologetic or embarrassed that it's you and it's the way you want to live it. Kind of feels like you're breaking free of a lot of oppressive energy. Like one thing I'm seeing with the tree here is like the tree has all these roots and it's like you've grown up like really strong and impressive and you have a nice root system that supports and nourishes you, and you have all of like these branches up in the air that like allow you to get like the sun you need to actually utilize the nutrients, classic plant biology over here. But it's like the soil that you happened to be planted in has been like pretty toxic towards you. So it's like somehow you managed to grow into this like amazing tree, and you should honestly be really proud of yourself that you thrived in the environment you did for this long. But it's like it's kind of time for you to realize you're not just a tree, like you're an ant and you can like get up and walk around and like go plant yourself somewhere else that's better for you. And all these people that are going to be like, what the hell, you were supposed to be a tree, like they're not really going to matter, and you're not going to worry about like whether or not you're offending them. You're just going to like go take care of yourself and put yourself in healthier soil somewhere else that like isn't poisoned or toxic. And it's not your fault that you were in that situation. I feel called to tell like a lot of you that it's not your fault. It's just it's not your fault. um I'm seeing for a lot of you, like it, you might feel like it's your fault, but it really, really isn't your fault. And some of you might be like, oh, but I kept saying yes to this and that like got me into this habit and this situation and why everyone expects so much of me. And it's like what you don't necessarily see right now, maybe, is that there was like a lot of manipulative energy and conversations um, that like put you in that position. And for a lot of you, if you've been doing this for like a very long time, you were just kind of raised that way. And so it really wasn't fair because as a as like a child or someone younger that was being raised to expect that that much would be put on them all the time, like they're not gonna actually consider like fighting against that really, or that that's a realistic option. And so you were never really given the chance to question it or say no to begin with. So like it's not your fault you're in that situation, you know? It's like as a child, you're if you're always told something by the people that raised you or the people around you over and over and over again, you don't think to question it. Just like you don't really think to question, like, when your mom says, like, oh, or whoever raised you, I shouldn't say mom, but for whoever raised you, constantly saying, like, if someone does something nice for you, you say thank you. Or like you say please when you ask for something. Or you wear a coat when it's raining outside. Like you don't think to question it because it's told to you like with such certainty so often, and nobody else around you tells you like otherwise, you know. um I think that for a lot of you out there, like just because you were finagled and wrangled and manipulated into a certain toxic situation, it just came together that way. Like you don't need to blame yourself for that, and you don't need to feel bad about it. But if you recognize you're in a situation like that, then like take the lead. Because you're ready for it now, like you are really powerful, and just like get up and go walk somewhere else and like plant yourself somewhere else, you know, like seeds don't pick where they fall, they just grow when they think they can. And we don't really always pick the situations we're in, we can just pick how we react to them. So that's a lot of what I'm getting from this. I want to grab some of your cards, and I'm not sure I have like a very detailed, specific question. I think I'm just gonna like let the energy flow, let the messages come to me, because I've been talking about 3 cards for like 20 minutes, so obviously we don't have a problem with that part of this. um, and we'll see if there's any extra messages for you that want to come out. We got 2 cards, which isn't bad. Oh, here's a third. Do we have any more? Or, oop, we got one more. I was gonna say, or is that it? But we'll give it a couple more shuffles, see if there's any other messages for you out there. I hear for a lot of you, I don't know if it's your higher self or your spirit guide or guides, maybe it's both. But like someone definitely wants to say, I love you. And I think they're trying to support you in this really difficult time because for you, renewing is a lot more dramatic than just like, oh, I'm gonna go have like a vacation and a spa day and I'll feel better. Like I'm gonna have a hot shower and a cold beer and then I'll feel better. This is like talking about like uprooting yourself and walking around and planting yourself somewhere else. For some of you, this is gonna feel like a really big deal, like redefining social circles that you have, putting up boundaries, cutting ties, burning bridges, um, moving or quitting a job and finding a new one. And like, I know there are other examples out there I'm missing, but all of those examples are, even if they're good and you're happy you're doing it, they're still stressful to do. um, and so your higher self and your future self and your actually your past self, like distant past self, like childhood self, and your spirit guides, they're all like rooting you on, and they're all really proud of you for not necessarily even doing anything, but like listening to this message as long as you have, and like coming to this realization on your own, or through this message. And they're kind of excited for whatever it is that you're doing moving on from this, and like whatever you can do that seems healthy for you. And for some of you, where like I know this is specific, but for some of you where I mentioned like some people would classify you as a bum, I think that it's clear from the energy in this reading there's a reason that you're a bum. um, and you don't have to feel bad about that. Like there are a lot of people that are totally happy being bums, okay? And there are a lot of people that want to be bums. Actually, they aspire to it. Like those are the overworked people that are like, I wish I could just like, you know, lounge around all day and not do much. Like they aspire to be a bum because you're the evening out, the balancing out to the overworked energy they have. But okay, I'm not trying to make you feel better about that. I just don't want you to feel like I'm shaming you. So for those of you who are bums or are being called bums, um, I think that there's a very real, very understandable reason for it. I feel like you feel really unsupported and disconnected from the people around you. And I think specifically for some of you out there, um, you either like shut yourself away from the world and all of them because no one was being supportive of you. Like there was either stuff you wanted to do in your life that they weren't allowing you to do or like constantly giving you grief about, and it got to a point where you couldn't handle it, so you kind of just like shut yourself away from them. And the way that you found it possible to do that was to kind of shut off like the whole world, um, because they were so oppressive and loud and abrasive in the way that they said it to you. Is like now your expectation is everyone feels that way about you and you're not comfortable like being around people or outside. And I think a lot of that stems from you internalized a lot of what they've been telling you, and like you don't really feel proud of yourself either. But like you've done a lot, and like actually removing yourself from them like is a huge win and a step forward, because like you needed that. Like you needed a bum face. And you know what? In tarot card it's not called bum, it's called the hermit, and they're enlightened and they're amazing. Okay? So I'm gonna rename the hermit card to the bum card for this reading if we pull it out. So there's that, and then the other thing I want to say is I feel like there's another half of you that like you feel like you fit the bum categorization. Um, because at one point or another, like you were asked to do too much and you finally couldn't handle it and you snapped or you broke and it felt like everything came crashing down and everybody was mad at you and you felt like you actually failed and you didn't know how to recover from it, so you just stopped doing anything. Like you were asked to carry way too much, so you just dropped it all. And that was way healthier for you and way more comfortable than actually like picking everything back up or trying to pick it all back up again and carrying it all. Um, and so you receded and you just stopped doing anything. And like you saying no to doing basically anything was actually like a defense mechanism. And I don't think you knew it at the time. You just felt like you failed. But you were taking care of yourself by saying, I'm not doing this anymore. And by continuing to not do it, you're putting your foot down and in a very like subconscious way, you're drawing boundaries of I'm not doing that for you. And the response of everyone who is quite abusively like putting all of this pressure on you to pick everything back up again, like they're just accusing you of being a bum or like a failure. But what you're actually doing is, in your own way, you're taking care of yourself because everything that they've been putting on you to do and are still trying to put back on you to do, like is so vile and not fair that this is like your subconscious way of taking care of yourself. And if you found this reading and you're here and either of these apply to you, it's because like you're ready to not be the hermit or the bum and you're actually ready to like healthily go do stuff and take up responsibilities again. And the trick for you with the tree of life and being healthy and replanting yourself is like not answering to all these people that like caused you to have this huge breakdown and make you feel bad to begin with. This is like the energy of you're going out into the world fresh, but you're going to go out into the world fresh and only serve and meet and do favors and answer and hang out with people who are healthy for you. Like that's one of the big blessings I'm seeing here is you're just going to go out and do healthy things for you and it's going to feel so good and you're going to wonder why you didn't do it earlier, and the reason is because you weren't ready to do it earlier. You needed time to heal, even if that happened on a subconscious level where you don't feel it yet, and that's okay. And we're proud of you. And this is a huge win, just being ready to move on, because the amount of trauma for some of you that happened in having to drop everything just to protect yourself and being told you're a failure for taking care of yourself in the best way you know how is insane. Like that's stuff that'll cripple people for life. And it doesn't matter how old you are, like the fact that you're in this reading and humoring me this long, and if this resonates with you, like considering moving on is wild and you should be applauded. And this is a big win that you're considering going outside. So we're gonna move on. While I was talking, I split the deck into 3 things, so we're gonna take those cards because I feel like they're probably significant. So we have the Ace of Wands, which is your brand new beginning that I was talking about, going out in the world fresh. That's what that is. You are starting a new journey because that's what aces are for. And with the wands, like you're really empowered, like mentally and emotionally. Like wands are known for being like a little bit fiery, you know, a little bit masculine energy, like going and doing stuff. But that comes from a place of like being very passionate about it. And so I feel like you're finding your passions and you're finding what's worth living life for you. And I feel like on a like higher subconscious level, it might be really hard for you to want to go do stuff and commit to stuff just because like you have some trauma around responsibilities. But what you're going to find is you're going to find things that are worth being responsible for. So like if you go get a pet, like a cat or a dog or something, like it's going to be worth taking the time out of your day to like make sure they're fed and they're healthy and happy and they're walked, taking them to the vet, getting their vaccines, like playing with them cuz like they do need to be trained and played with if they're cats or dogs, but like and that's a responsibility, but because it's fun for you, it's worth it and it doesn't feel crippling or destructive or oppressive like you've been experiencing responsibilities this far in your lifetime. So you're gonna like redefine what that is. Or maybe you commit to like taking classes like dance or painting or dirt bike racing, I don't know, some kind of class. So you have to like or like you join like a hockey team or something and you actually have to like show up on time to these classes or like you go get a job, a brand new job that you're excited about. It's in a field you're excited about. And like you actually have to show up on time for your shift. It's like, yeah, some days it's going to feel like it sucks and you don't want to go. Um, but it's going to be worth it. Like that responsibility is going to feel worth it to you instead of toxic and oppressive, and degrading. So that's what I'm seeing. And then we have the Emperor as the second card that I went and split. If it will zoom in. There we go. And I think this card is like really interesting because there's the skeleton in front, like holding the little item, and then the woman in the back. And what I'm really getting from this is like you had like a big death of your old self, like just kind of you died. Um, and that was like maybe you shutting down or getting to this point of realization where like you want something new and different and you're moving on. And that's why the main figure in the Emperor card like is the skeleton, is because like you had to have this like death of old beliefs or like death of an old self or an old cycle to get into this energy of like being really like masterful and like commanding, but not in a tyrannical kind of way, but in like a very like graceful, elegant kind of way of being able to put up healthy boundaries and like garnering respect from people just by living your life and being you and respecting others. Um, there's the energy of being able to like pursue what you want and be successful in it. Say what you want and be heard. There's the energy of being rewarded for taking risks because you make your own luck and finding yourself in situations that favor you just for going out and trying to enjoy yourself. Like the Emperor is the energy of like masterfully living your life the way you want, kind of like being able to find what you want in that life. And for all of you, it's going to be different. I can't tell you what that is, but those were some of the hints that I got that I listed off. And then the last card that I like cut the deck to, let me get that in frame, is the High Priestess in reverse. And with this card, I initially wanted to say I don't know, because I feel like some of you out there kind of feel like I don't know, like the High Priestess is a lot about being enlightened, and this is in reverse, and I think that's actually like a really good thing. So I think that for you with the High Priestess being in reverse, instead of being enlightened, like you're starting fresh and like brand new. Um, and for a lot of you, it might feel like you were kind of like living under a rock and then you go experience all these things out there, in a new world where like you're just not subjecting yourself to all these people that like traumatized you to begin with, and like it's gonna feel really good and it's gonna feel brand new. It's not gonna feel brand new like you're gonna be like, oh, I forgot what like going to an ice cream shop felt like. I haven't done it in 8 years, and like maybe that's true. But I mean, it's gonna feel brand new. Like you're gonna talk to other people with like these expectations of they're gonna ask a lot of you, and it's gonna be horrible, and you're gonna get into a similar situation again. Like they're all cynical. They all want stuff from you. They're all judging you. They're all already disappointed in you. And when you just like actually have these like small interactions with people, you're going to understand that like that's not the norm with people. Like there's a lot of healthy people out there that like they don't just exist to like try to suck you dry and want stuff from you, and then are constantly disappointed in you because they couldn't like get more out of you, you know. um like it's gonna feel like you're brand new because you're gonna have all of like these really grim um expectations or suspicions of other people, and then like them just being good people. When you meet these good people, they're gonna prove you wrong, and you're gonna be like, oh my god, like where were all of these people earlier? And I think that that's one of the best messages you could get at this point. And this doesn't mean like you have to like go out to all of like these social outings and like singles clubs or like packed bars and just start talking to people. Like this just means you going and doing what you're like, okay, I actually do want to try this today. Um, you're just gonna meet these people. And this doesn't even mean like you have to like go outside or anything. Um, although for a lot of you, I think this is like experiencing new environments in your physical world. This could also be like new relationships that start like online or over social media. If like part of growing for you and what you really want to do is like start a YouTube channel or get on TikTok or like play a new game online, and like you just make friends with a lot of the other players on there, you know, or like you just get like a remote job or find a cool online community. Like I don't know. I don't know you, so I just know the energy you're in. So that's part of what I'm seeing for a lot of you. We have the Fool, which I think is really telling, um, because again, you're starting fresh, you're starting brand new on like new journeys, and you don't really know what you're doing. Like you know what you want, and you know exactly how you're not gonna get there. And it's by not taking the lead. So that's all you have to do. And like there might be mistakes, there might be bumps and bruises, but I don't see any of them being like permanent or actually traumatic or something you have to worry about. It's just going to be like, oops, and then you're going to move on. It's kind of like if you drop something and you just pick it back up and keep walking. Like nothing's broken. There's nothing to cry over, even if you think it's broken and you want to cry over it. And if you do cry, you're not allowed to feel bad for yourself. Have patience with yourself because you're healing from like some really messed up shit. So, um, your next card is the Nine of Cups, and this card is interesting because I pulled it out of the deck sideways. It wouldn't just like shuffle back in, so I'm gonna keep it sideways. But with the Nine of Cups, I'm hearing like you're kind of in limbo. And I feel like for you, in limbo means like you're in this little transitional period where you're going to stay in the transitional period until you decide to move one way or the other. And you can kind of like regress. You can stay in purgatory, or you can like choose to live your life for you. So I thought that was a vague message, but that got real personal real fast. And I think this is just like talking about how for a long time you felt like your two options were you can like stay in hermit mode and shut the world away from you, or like reject a lot of it, hide from it, whatever. Or you could like go back to being around people because like humans are social creatures. We like being around people, and we like being around people that like us, and people that we like and all that. Um, but you didn't want to go back to like all that like oppressive grossness and these people that have been like just straight up like toxic and cruel and manipulative to you. And you kind of thought those were like your two options because it was like you didn't have anyone else to go meet or hang out with, or like they would find you and know about it if you're in like a small town or something, I guess. Or it was like everybody is like that because you haven't been proven otherwise. And it just seems like everyone's like that. But now you have like this brand new option coming out of nowhere. That'll happen when you like decide like you're gonna take the lead and live your life for yourself and go like plant yourself somewhere better. Where it's like there's this new option of you can actually just be happy and be around people that are like healthy and good for you and do all these things that like you want to do that are healthy and good for you with these people that are healthy and good for you. And then they'll introduce you to new cool stuff and cool new people, and you'll introduce them to cool new stuff and people, and when you want to try new things like they'll go with you. Like it's just going to be like this cascade of like all this awesome stuff that like you deserve and you're finally ready for because you just needed some time to like step back and take a breath and get away from all this and air yourself out so that you can actually enjoy it when you find all these new things. That's what you were doing, and that's what you're on the tail end of. And so it's whenever you decide you're ready, and however small or ready those baby steps are, or however big they are, um, is perfect for you. And you don't need to pressure yourself or feel bad about it or whatever. Like 5 minutes from now, 5 weeks from now, 5 years from now is right for you because you're in this energy now. I have a feeling it's going to go pretty quick because this reading's supposed to be in the next like lunar cycle or 2 to 3 weeks. So let's look at your last three cards here to wrap up this reading. And I wanted to say, like, I feel like these three cards have to do with like the blessings you're gonna get from doing all this stuff. So we have the Ten of Cups, and I don't know if I'd call it in reverse because it was like this. So like maybe, but I would call it more like sideways ish. um, but the Ten of Cups is all about like emotional fulfillment on the most profound level. It's like when all your fairy tale dreams come true, like that level of bliss. I think that with the Ten of Cups being in reverse, what's going on here is for a long time you were like waiting for stuff to get better. For a lot of you, I'm hearing like you were waiting to be like rescued, whether that be like circumstances just change for you or someone actually does something. And one of your blessings is like you're just done waiting, and you're done waiting on like a couple levels, like one of which is like you're just gonna like pull yourself out of purgatory. Like no one's gonna help you with that, because you don't need anyone to help you with that, okay? But you're done waiting for like someone to save you or the universe to rescue you or whatever it is. But you're also like one of your biggest blessings is going to be when you are happy, you're not like you're done waiting for when someone else is going to take that away from you. Like I feel like with the toxic environment you were in for a really long time, one of the things that happened for you is, and this is like regardless of your circumstances or why you made it to this pile, like if you're in this pile, like this resonates for you or this pile isn't for you. And normally I don't say that, but like I feel very strongly about this. Like one of your biggest blessings is when something good is happening for you or like you're happy or having fun, you're not gonna worry about or be paranoid or expect that someone's gonna come along and like take that away from you or like punish you for it. There's not going to be this energy of why are you having fun when you could be doing this? And like, how dare you not invite like these other people with you? Or like, oh, you got like a bunch of money or this or that or whatever. Like, how come you didn't like give it to us? Or like, why are you doing this instead of like serving like me, or doing that, or doing these chores or whatever it is, and da da da, and like all this stuff. And like, how dare you go buy a dinner for yourself when like you owe money to like X, Y, and Z and whatever. Like, there's so much of that here, of like, it really made you feel like anytime you were actually happy, like a punishment was coming from somewhere, from some angle. And I think one of your biggest blessings is like that belief is falling away. Like, you're just going to recognize that like that's not how your life is going anymore. And you're just going to let it go. And it's going to feel really good. And it might be a gradual thing. You might not notice it at first and then feel better eventually and go, oh yeah. Or it might be this profound thing where you're just like done with it, off with you. I don't believe in that anymore. But like, regardless of what it is, like, it's gonna feel really good. The Three of Wands, this is kind of cool. We got this in the first pile. Um, the Three of Wands here talks a lot about creative energy and intuitive abilities to find like innovative solutions. It talks a lot about how um, you'll be like successful in solving a problem or a situation based on how like creative you are with it. Like, you're finding an interesting solution that like a lot of other instances or people like wouldn't be able to recognize that like as a possible route or solution. And I feel like for you, what that means is like this new way of thinking to you that you're finding over here that we talked about, um and like your new realizations about how people actually work, like those are gonna feel really like mind-blowing to you, and they're going to shape your worldview, like we mentioned, and that in itself is going to feel like really innovative to you. And so you're going to feel like there's this totally new way to see the world and look at the world, and you're going to recognize your past is all that it is, your past. Like, maybe you'll write a book on it, but that's about it. Like, you're moving on. And it'll just be like a cool, interesting, inspiring story where when you tell other people, they're going to be like, I can't believe you made it through that. Like, that's really cool. And like, they'll respect you for it if that's something you want to share. But you're not going to do any of that trauma bonding stuff where it's like you just unload that on everybody you get to know somewhat intimately. And like need that validation of someone else going like, oh my god. um, and sometimes that's helpful or like therapeutic when we're healing, but like you're actually moving past that, so you won't have that anymore, and your relationships will just be healthy, not anything else. And it's gonna feel like the lens that you're seeing the world in is gonna be really like new and like just mind-blowingly different. Like, you never thought you would look at the world in this way, but here you are doing it. Like, I see that being like a big second blessing for you. And then the third one here, we have the Empress, which is cool because we had the Emperor on the other side, right? So the Empress is really good at manifesting. Like, she is kind of the like mother that brings into being like whatever it is that you want. A lot of times on Empress cards, she's depicted as like actually being pregnant or like gestating, and there's a reason for that. And it's because she has the like nurturing but powerful energy to like bring about new things and whatever she wants into the being and into the world. And so I feel like with these three cards here, it's almost like they're doing a little cycle since they got laid out kind of like a triangle, where it's like they all kind of power each other. Like you're gonna see the world differently, and you're gonna stop waiting to be happy, and you're gonna take charge of that, take lead. Um, and what's gonna happen from that is you're gonna like bring into into your physical reality things that are healthy for you, whether that be like resources, your actual health, energy, people, hobbies, passions, whatever. You're going to bring that to you. And then that's going to refresh again or like tune up how you see things. And you're going to see them in like an even more loving and like optimistic light. And that's going to make you proactively search for more stuff that makes you happy, pursue that even more. And then you're going to be even happier from it. And you're going to see things in an even better loving light. And it's just going to keep going. So, like, your biggest blessing isn't one of these, it's the fact that you're going to be in this cycle of like redefining how you see the world in a way that's a lot less grim, I can tell you that. Where you're going to see that the world is actually powered by love, instead of neediness and greed, spite, jealousy, envy, hate, all those other things that like you was in your soil really. You're going to see that if you choose to live on a path of love and be a loving person, which is why you regressed away from all this and you didn't perpetuate in that. Like if you choose to be a being of love and you live your life with love, you'll be surrounded by love. And that's what these first two cards here is, seeing it everywhere and then taking action to pursue it when you have the options to. And then that's going to bring love into your life. And so you're kind of in this cycle of love. And that can go on for the rest of your life if you so choose. And what you'll find is that as soon as you replant yourself, not only are you going to feel relief and a lot better, even if it's scary at first because it's new and stressful, and new things can be stressful, but like you're just going to understand that the whole world doesn't operate the way they did, and whatever situation you were in before that was really toxic, like they're just their own weird little microcosm, little bubble of toxicity. Like they're kind of like if you're on the beach and there's a lot of tide pools everywhere, you were in that one tide pool that has a lot of like red algae and mold in it, and then you decide to like hop into a different one and you realize the whole world isn't like that, and eventually you go from tide pool to tide pool just into the ocean, and you see like how vast it is and that you were just in some really shitty blip, but because you didn't want to stay there, you moved on. And that's what this is kind of like your big awakening of that. So this reading was really, really cool. I'm proud of you. Your higher self is proud of you. Spirit guides are proud of you. I'm sure the universe is proud of you. And I don't know, I feel good. I feel really optimistic for you, and like I feel really lucky to have been able to do this reading for you. So thank you. And speaking of thank you, I will officially thank you one more time for choosing me as your reader for this pile. And what I will do now is say this is a general reading, and I have no idea what you specifically went through, even if I nailed it on the head. I don't know if it's you specifically, because again, general reading. But if you want to let me know, because I'm so curious. Like this is really cool, inspiring stuff. This is like what people actually. I know I said writing a book earlier. This is what people like actually write inspirational books and movies about. Um, so if you want to let me know or support your other fellow Pile Twos, you can leave a comment. If you want to keep things more private but still spill the tea, you can email us. Our email is in the video description. You can also, like, subscribe, the simple stuff. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, I promise. But you'll be up to date on us setting out new readings and stuff to help you on your spiritual growth journey. And if you want even more content and readings, you want to donate, you can instead join our Patreon because I would rather you get something for your money instead of a donation. I had someone ask, so I would much rather you received something for the money that you give us as well. So you can take a look at our Patreon if you want. It's in the description. You can buy something from our store at lunaticclick.com, including this awesome, specifically this Frenite Tower, if you want a memento of this reading, if this thing meant a lot to you. And this one specifically, because we have a few, for those of you who are interested. This one is number 10. I took the sticker off because my handwriting is ugly and ruins the significance of the reading. But yeah, you can actually like buy this thing if you want, as a little keepsake. So that is all I have for you. I wish you all the best, love, happiness, and luck on your journey. And I will see you next time in a brand new reading. Welcome, my dears, to pile number 3. So if you picked this pile based on the tarot deck, the Gothic Pink Tarot, or the Pink Gothic Tarot, either way, this is your pile. We're going to put the tarot cards to the side. We'll get to them after we look at your other significator cards. Or if you chose this pile based on the rose quartz, the beautiful raw rose quartz. We'll put it here. Or if you chose with this first significator card, creator in the element of air, then this is your reading. You found the right one. Hello, welcome. So for those of you who skipped the intro, I do want to mention that we're looking at what is renewing in your life right now and what blessing or blessings are going to come from that renewal. So if you're watching it now, this is meant to go one lunar cycle, but from the halfway point, the full moon. So full moon to full moon. If you're watching this in the future or like nowhere near a moon, a full moon, then this is just like in the time frame of the next 2 or 3 weeks of your life. This is the energy that you're going through here. So with that, the first 2 piles have been like really, really cool, awe-inspiring, inspirational, like just so happy. So I think this pink moon might be like one of my new favorite energies to talk about. And I'm super excited for you because you went like all out with the pink here. You got like the rose quartz and then the pink Gothic tarot, which we'll get to in a minute. So like I can't wait for your reading. We're gonna put your creator card with the air energy right there in the middle. And then we're going to get to your 2 other oracle cards. And before we do, I'm being called to point out why I put these snakes here. So these are 2 different silver sheen obsidian carved crystals. And I picked the 2 snakes because snakes are really significant symbols of like rebirth and renewal with the way that they shed their skin. And I think for you, there's something about having 2 of them that's like really important. I don't know why. We'll figure it out maybe. Um, but I feel like there's something important about two. So we'll move on. We have the otter spirit with the number 42. And the otter spirit says you are never alone, and it's in a heart. And there's two of them, and they're snuggling. So I wonder if this is like twin flame energy, like your spirit guide's talking to you, your significant other, your soulmate. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. And then you have the witness with number 64 as your other oracle card. Is that evenly spaced? It's probably good enough, Amy. Okay, come on, girl. Get with the reading. Your energy is, how do I put it? Interesting. I feel like that word is going to get overused very quickly, so I'll put it a different way. A conundrum in, I don't want to say an oxymoron, but like I think we're going to have to grab some tarot cards. So the reason I say that is because the witness card talks about being in the energy of letting go. It's kind of like the hanged man energy for those of you who are tarot savvy, but it's the energy of being still and letting the world and the universe and its mechanisms like unfold and continue around you. And it has a little bit of like a call to action to let go of control and just be. And letting go of control doesn't mean like you just trust fall off a cliff. Doesn't mean putting yourself in dangerous situations by doing nothing. Um, it's more of the energy of like if stuff around you is happening, you practice mindfulness and you understand if it makes you like happy or upset or whatever, and you sit with those emotions and like ruminate and digest them. And then afterwards, you decide which emotions you want to hold on to, act upon, or just like let go. And you continue, but the lack of need to control doesn't mean that you're complacent or you do nothing either. It means that like there are certain things you trust to their own devices to help you out. So, I'm getting a very ridiculous example, but I'm going to use it because it makes me smile. If you don't want to go to a tanning salon, but you really want to tan, and it's summertime or whenever, and you go outside and you like sit in the sun, with your tanning oil, you flip over when you're supposed to, whatever, you come back inside and you're like, okay, a tan doesn't happen in one day, I gotta go back out again tomorrow. Um, you're not stressing over how am I gonna make the sun rise tomorrow morning. Like you just trust that the sun is gonna show up in the sky tomorrow and you'll go back outside. And so it's like you're choosing to go back outside to get your tan, and that's like your choice and in your power to do. Um, but like there are greater things at play that you're okay with just allowing and letting be. And so you're not sitting there staring at your watch in the morning going, the sun didn't rise yet, the sun didn't rise yet, oh da 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 da. Um, like you're just relaxing or sleeping, and then eventually when the sun is out, you'll go sit outside for a while. And one of those is a lot more peaceful and less stressful and a lot more manic than the other. And that's kind of the call to action with the witness is like letting go of the need to control situations that more or less have like bigger things at play than like just a little person is kind of what I'm hearing. And it's like we're all divine and we can do a lot more than like we think we can. Um and that's part of what I have like talks in the future planned for is like trying to remind us of that. But at the same time, like there's a lot where it's like we don't need to stress out about it. We can just trust. I think it's interesting that you have a card that's all about just like letting go and practicing mindfulness when you also have the creator of air here. Um, because a lot of times we think about creative energy as like, or being a creator as being proactive. Um, we think about it as something that needs doing or actions that need to be taken with initiative in order for creation not necessarily to occur, but in order for us to classify ourselves as a creator. And I think this otter card keeps getting cuter because it says you're never alone. I feel like what's happening here is you've been trying really hard to make something happen. Like really, really hard. Like I feel like for some of you, you're at your wits' end at that point of exhaustion where you're like, I've done I've done the journaling techniques and the subliminal messages when I'm sleeping and the verbal manifestations and looking in the mirror and saying it to myself, and I have the vision board and I've taken the risks and I've gone to the seminars and I've done the investments and I've bought all the lottery tickets, and like I still am not a millionaire, or like whatever it is for you, or like I've gone to like all these couple clubs and singles events and like I've tried all the dating apps and I still haven't found my soulmate, like that kind of a thing. And I feel like you're still going on in my head with like, and the guided meditations and the online coaching and da da da, and it's like you've hit the point of not just frustration, but like lack of options and direction because you feel like you've exhausted every outlet, every avenue, every option. And I think this message is from the universe. And it's a really simple, but like a really powerful and a really beautiful one. And it's simply just the universe saying, like, you did everything you needed to do. Just sit back and like let me get it done. And this is very much analogous to you were in the ocean or a lake. Let's say you're in like a big lake and you really wanted to surf, but usually like surfing doesn't happen in a lake, it happens in an ocean where the waves are a lot bigger. And you were like, okay, well this is what I have access to, so I'm going to make it work. And you put in a whole bunch of work and a lot of fuss and a lot of flailing and thrashing around, and like no one knows how you did it, but you actually made like a big wave, like a big crashing tidal wave in this lake. And like at this point you're like, great, I made a wave, but like I still don't know how to like actually get on it and like surf now. And the universe is kind of stepping in and being like, I'm going to make sure the wave doesn't peter out and it doesn't crash. Just sit on it and like enjoy the ride, and like I'll carry you. um it's kind of just the energy of like, you put in the work to get it started, let me continue it, let me finish it. um like I can read your energy, and I'm going to answer it. And I have little to no idea what it is that you're trying so hard to get or grasp or manifest or realize or understand. And I think that's because this is a general reading. So it's different for everybody. I think that's why I have like zero hints on this one. Because instead it's the message here that's resounding across the board of all of you. And I think what that means is like your blessing is going to be different for all of you. Because I'll pull the tarot cards, but I'm kind of getting that like more often than not for all of you out there, your blessing is that you're going to actually get the thing that you thought that you wanted and you've been working really hard on for so long. And I know that answer sounds really whack because it's like, Amy, you should just tell me like I'm getting what I wanted, not what I thought I wanted. But I feel like for some of you, the way this is getting answered, like the way the universe is answering you, is you're gonna get something better than what you wanted. And so it's not gonna appear to be what you were working on or what you thought you wanted. It's gonna be something else, but you're gonna be more excited about it. Um, and I think that'll mean something different for all of you, so I can't help specify that one either. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab some tarot cards. And I think some of you out there are sitting there asking, when? When? I've tried everything and I've gotten signs before that this is actually going to happen. So, like, when? And that's the one part of this that's going to be more frustrating than what you're going to think is helpful to hear right now. I'll pull the tarot cards, but with the witness card here, you're being called to like let go of the when and just have faith that like it's done. Because I feel like you've been trying so hard for so long for some of you to get this to happen that you've actually built up resistance in getting this thing to enter into your life or you being able to receive it, because you've built it up by trying so hard for so long, subconsciously or consciously. You built this up in your mind to think that it's really hard to get. Because if you got it on the first try, then it would have been easy to get. But because you've tried so many different things over long periods of time, now you think it's hard to get. And one of the big breakthroughs you can have at this point with the witness is just let go of that. Let go of that belief. Like it's no harder to get if it was successful after your first try or your last. It's just a matter of when the timing is right. And for some of you, I'm seeing that like you were successful in beginning to attract this thing to you on your first attempt at in whatever way you were trying to like bring it to you or achieve it. Like you put everything in motion, you started the wave. It just took a long time for that wave to like grow big enough to actually surf on. Or like it just took time to actually like get into your reality and get to you. But you took that silence, that pause, that delay of delivery as failure because you didn't see it right away. And I think this is a really common misconception. This is one of the hardest parts for the human mind to grasp when we're trying to manifest something is we get stuck in looking to the external for validation. And I made a video on this actually. I mentioned it at one point, a brief discussion. Maybe I'll make another where when we're manifesting and we look around us after we make an attempt at manifesting and we see, oh, I still don't have it yet. If that's our reaction, oh, I still don't have it yet, we actually like contradict ourselves and our energies on what we want. And the universe doesn't communicate and act in the same way that our conscious human minds do. And they pick up on energies instead. And so if you're in the energy of, I have this and I'm grateful for it, the universe can read that and it'll start bringing it to you. But if you look around and you say, hey, I still don't have it yet, like there's no way that isn't going to like disappoint or frustrate you on some level. And if nothing else, you're going to feel the lack of not having it because you're noting it to yourself very clearly. The universe will pick up on that energy and go, do you want it or not? And so it'll actually like take longer for it to get to you because there's conflicting energies that instead of like resonating, they're canceling themselves out. And so the feelings of lack and frustration from not seeing it in your physical world immediately or when you would like it to on your timetable, it will dampen the hard work that you've been doing energetically. And what that'll look like is it'll come to you slower, usually. Um, and I know that's really frustrating to hear, but take this message as a good sign of what you've been doing has been working. You just have to let go of the need for it to work right now. And the way that you've convinced yourself is the best way and the best time for it to come to you. So, like, you kind of just have to trust that you're not alone. You're a successful creator. You did all the work, and you just have to let the universe present it to you in the best way possible. And because the universe has like this great expanse of viewpoints and knowledge outside of like what our conscious minds are able to comprehend, the universe's definition of the best time and the best way to give it to you so that you're the most fulfilled with it can very often be different than what yours is or what mine is or ours is. And so when you look around and you say, I don't have it yet, but I really need it right now, the universe might have more information on its side to say, like, it would actually be better if we get it to you at this different time point instead. And that could be part of the delay. The other part of the delay could just be that I don't have it now. That's slowing the universe down. And like it was going to get it to you sooner, but like your magnetism was dampened by like your perceived outside world causing impatience. And like because this is a general reading, I can't tell you like which way is right for you. If like one or both of those messages sounds like it resonates, then go for it. And there's no way either of those has to be the full story either. Like everyone's so different and all our situations are so complex and there's countless confounding factors that like I can't diagnose why a manifestation didn't happen on the time frame you hoped it would through a general reading. But either way, regardless of all of this, what I'm seeing is that like the universe is really just telling you like it's okay, like you were successful, I heard you, like I'm giving you what you want, like you just have to like trust me and relax. And that can be really frustrating to hear if this has been something that like an endeavor you've had for a long time and you kind of feel like you've been let down before. Um, and so part of this learning journey for you is just letting go of that and like truly trusting the process and that it's going to work this time. So let's pull some tarot cards. I don't really know what I want to ask or what I want to say, and I'm sure that this reading has been like it's a pretty concise message, and I'm sure it's been frustrating for a lot of you out there. But for those of you who are still here, hi, thank you from the universe. Like, thank you for still listening to what they have to say. Um, and I think that for a lot of you, I'm kind of hearing like it wasn't time then, but it's time now. And a lot of times, I think that just because of like all of these like kitschy spiritual snake oil salesmen out there, the way that they like push this manifestation stuff on you, we'll take that, I guess, is they'll say like, oh, if you do this, it'll work. And I think more often than not, like the number one thing I've seen people fail to recognize and highlight when you're manifesting is like part of being in the right energy to receive whatever you're trying to get isn't just being in the energy that attracts it to you, but it's being in the right energy for it to actually like be worth giving to you. Um, and I know that sounds kind of harsh, but let me explain. So, for example, if you're trying to attract a soulmate, um, but you're in an energy of frustration, anger, lack, and if the universe did give you your soulmate right now, you would be in a position where you wouldn't be able to appreciate them fully. You would take out your frustrations on them. Like maybe there would be a lot of arguments that don't need to happen. That's a lot of cards. Oh, I got one in my lap. Um, Maybe we'll end there with the cards for now. But like there's like maybe you'd be too frustrated to appreciate them. There would be like undue arguments. It might lead to like a falling out or like a false start. It would prolong the process, or the universe would eventually just have to give you like a new soulmate. They just find someone else who's compatible for you for this like energy you're in. But if you're trying to manifest a soulmate and the universe is like, I'm gonna wait until you feel better and you're the authentic you that I know that you are, and you're coming from a place of gratitude, love, compassion, gratefulness instead of like frustration, lack, thinking people are like cynical and they just want the best for them, then the universe might hold off and they might tell you like, look, um, like we're gonna wait, and it's like you did everything right, manifestation wise or technique wise, to tell the universe I want this, except for your own energy isn't right to actually be compatible with this person that's compatible with like the truest you. And so it's like the last step that you need that no one ever seems to responsibly talk about when they talk about manifestation is like you just needed to work on yourself and grow a little bit, balance yourself, become a little healthier, become a little more mature, become a little more like maybe you guys would be compatible, but you have like communication issues, and so if you were in a relationship, it would peter out over time and it would fall out and it wouldn't work. But if you like worked on yourself and some of the insecurities you have, like or false beliefs you have, like no one ever listens to me, no one really cares what I'm actually feeling, or you're in like very real uh like people pleasing energy just because of some of the people you've been around for a long time, like they taught you that if you're not people pleasing, like you're kind of not a good person, and it's like that's not necessarily true. It just means that you have healthy boundaries. Like maybe the universe is waiting for you to learn what a healthy boundary is and how to establish those, so that your relationship with your actual soulmate, someone you're really compatible with for a whole lifetime or many lifetimes, isn't gonna fall through or fail. And it's like I think that's the part that really steers people astray a lot of the time, is like the universe can get the message, but like it also understands like when you're ready for it and when you're not ready for it. And I remember I did that. I was when I was manifesting my husband, I got a lot of messages about he's there, like he's good, he's waiting for you, he's actually trying to like manifest you too, he's doing a lot of spiritual work for that. But it also said like now's not the right time because you both need to grow more and like learn more. And I was like, okay. And then a couple months later, I got some really specific messages where the universe said like, you guys did a good job like growing, but like he still needs a little more time to get over some trauma he has. And I was like, okay. And then a little bit later, I got a specific message of like he's good now, but like you have some stuff you need to work through. And I was like, okay, I'll work on that, and I'll just like trust that like he'll come when the time is right. And I got a message later of like, um, I think the universe said like I think you're both ready, but he wants to wait until he's more financially secure, because when you start dating, he wants to be able to actually like take care of you. And then a couple months after that, like we actually like really met each other and hit it off and started dating, and then things went really fast, you know? And it's like I think that's one of the hardest things, is that a lot of people like they don't talk about that part with manifestation. And I think that really shows like who understands it and who's kind of ignorant of some of the intricacies of it. Is like the universe understands when you'll actually be able to receive the blessing and handle it, and when you won't. And just like a parent like raising a 4-year old or a 3-year old, like they can see things that the child they're raising can't, you know? Like the 3-year old might say like, I can handle more ice cream, it's all good, like I want some. But the parent will say, if you have more, you're going to get sick. No. Like we'll give you more tomorrow when you can actually receive it, and it'll be like, I won't say healthy because it's junk food, but like you'll be able to receive it healthily, like you won't get sick from it. The universe can do that, and it can see things we can't. And I think part of your frustration is, for some of you, like the universe was just waiting for you to grow as the amazing person you are and be able to handle this, because whatever you're manifesting like is big, and the universe is rooting for you, and they want it to actually stick and be received well and be nothing but good for you. But like you have to have faith in them, and you have to grow enough to, or heal enough to actually be in a position where like it's gonna be nothing but good for you. Because let's say like you meet your soulmate, right? And it's not the right time. Like you still have maybe some traumas around like people treating you appropriately, because in a last relationship, um like they were, let's say, like abusive towards you, um or like violent towards you. And what happens is like you're this soulmate that would be compatible for you, instead like doesn't really like your energy, because like your guard is really up. um like you won't talk to them about certain things that are like really important, or when an argument happens like you shut down, um or not even an argument but just like a misunderstanding, or like you won't be like emotionally available or vulnerable for them, or you're too traumatized to be able to be supportive for them, and they want someone who's like emotionally available to like help them through things, because they don't want to be a therapist, they want to have a partner where both people can be leaned on. And so the universe is like waiting for you to heal so that you guys are actually like not compatible, but you're in the right energies and mind states and like emotional health to enjoy that compatibility of each other, instead of being clouded by just like traumas that happen because life is hard. So that's kind of the examples I'm getting. I have a lot of cards here. I will see what happens. But when I was holding the deck, I split it 3 times, so we'll see what those are. So we have the Ten of Pentacles on the back. And what I'm hearing is that I know I talked a lot about like soulmates, because those are examples that I feel are more intuitive for a lot of people. But like if you're trying to manifest money, money is what I'm hearing. If you're working on manifesting money, like 100%, you can do it. You did do it. It's happening. It's coming to you right now. You just have to have faith. And then one of the hardest things you can hear is like, it just wasn't the right time earlier. And I think honestly, that's because, and take this if it resonates, that's because there were things outside of your control that you didn't see all the way that would have ruined it for you. In other words, like you weren't protected the way that you are now, when you receive it. So for a lot of you, I'm hearing like this could be greed of other people in your life. Like if you receive this money now, you would get harassed endlessly for you to like give them some of it and like you owe them and this and that and da da da, or like maybe like identity theft would have happened, or like if you like just switched banks or something, like the universe didn't want to give you the money until you actually opened up the new bank account because the logistics of shuffling that much money to a new bank, like your old bank would have given you a headache over it because they didn't want to lose that money. Something like that. Um, where it's like it's odd, it's specific, you wouldn't guess it, but like the universe was protecting it and protecting you by withholding your money slightly. But like you work on yourself, you do what your gut says to do, and you trust the universe, and like it's gonna give you more than you asked for or you wanted to begin with. That's the message I'm getting. Okay, so that's cool. If you're talking about if you wanted money, you got it. And then over here, behind the money, I have the Queen of Swords and I have the Queen of Cups. And one thing I'm seeing with like both of these being like the feminine masters of these suits is it's a lot about like reflection and like speaking to your power. And I think both of those go back to the witness here. But I think a lot of what's happening is like emotionally, you're not, for some of you, okay? And like if this resonates, it resonates. Like don't get offended. And if it doesn't resonate, ignore me. But something I'm getting here is that like emotionally, you're not ready for this much money because of the people that would be harassing you for it. Like they would take you for a ride. Like this could be like con men or really good con artists. This could be like sly friends that would turn out not to be friends. This could be like abusive partners or like just horrible like family members or social circles where like they just find ways to like suck it out of you. Like miraculously, when you go out to drink with your group of friends, they all forget their wallets. Um, and they ordered way more drinks than they normally do, you know, just like stuff like that. Where it's like, if you work on yourself with like healing what you need to, letting go of like people pleasing or caring if other people call you selfish, because like, look, your abundance is yours and you don't have the agency to give it to anybody else unless you committed to that. Like you decided you're gonna like raise a kid or have a pet, like yeah, you have to like pay for them because that's part of like being a responsible good like parent or caretaker or something. But like generally like you don't owe people anything you have even if they think it's an excess or would be easy to give to them. Like they're being arrogant, selfish, egotistical asses for thinking that you owe them something just because you have it and they don't. So that's that. And so emotionally, like I promise you, if you just work on yourself and like making sure you can draw good boundaries, be steadfast, stand up for yourself, and like don't mind giving other people who are going to throw tantrums the finger, um, you'll be really well set to like receive this if this is something you've been feeling like it hasn't been working for you manifesting wise. And then for the Queen of Swords, the other part of that, I'm seeing that part of what could help you with that emotional work is doing the out loud verbal confirmations to yourself. And so this isn't telling yourself like, I am a millionaire, I have a lot of money, if that's something that you wanted. Instead, this is telling yourself um, like I stand up for myself. I don't need to give people money for them to like me. I don't have to please anybody. My money is my own and I don't owe anyone anything. Like the universe gave this to me. If that money was supposed to be for them, I would have given it, like the universe would have given it to them. I don't need to do that. um, and that doesn't mean if you feel like sharing or being charitable, you withhold from that, like go for it. Um, but this just means like you're not in the energy of people pleasing. And like if you have to fight somebody, like you will fight somebody, okay? Like you are badass. Like you think this lady with like her bajillion swords isn't going to cut someone if they come at her sideways? Like no, she's going to do it and she's not going to regret it. She's not going to think twice about it. And then you being the Queen of Cups, afterwards when they're crying, you're going to like drink their tears and say move on. Like I don't know what to say other than like the universe is kind of just waiting for you not to be like ruthless or cruel or like aggressive or angsty, but they're waiting for you to step into like your own strength and badassery and understand that like you're worthy of this regardless of external validation. And if other people only like you because you have money or they think you might give it to them, then like you have no problems just drop kicking them into next week. So that's what I'm getting. And then the last thing I pulled out was the Four of Cups here. And I'm not getting a lot from this, but just like the four and the actual cups, um, the universe is kind of waiting for you to be emotionally stable enough to be independent and not need other people to tell you you're doing a good job with your money. And you might think like you don't have that need or that issue. So if that's you, and I know that's very specific, if that's you, I would spend some time like meditating and self-reflecting really hard in like all your interactions and like what you think you would do with your money. And if at any point you find yourself thinking like, oh, I would have to give them some, or like, oh, I would need to give them some, or tell someone about this, or da da da, or I don't want to tell them about my money because then they'll be weird and like I don't want to deal with it, and like what would I do if they found out, like that kind of stuff. Those are situations that the universe is asking you to self-reflect on and like grow from and fix, because that's kind of part of what they're trying to protect you from and hold you back from. So that's what I have if you're trying to manifest the monies. Was from the deck, and that was really cool. That was way more specific than I thought it would be. So now I'm really excited for the rest of these cards. And there's a lot, so we'll see what happens. I kind of want to get this one that's on top of the Creator with air. So we have the Two of Pentacles. Kind of want to... No, it's okay there. So we're getting something with like twos again. There's a lot of twos coming out in your reading. Like there's the two otters, the two snakes, the two, and I feel like this is really like that dynamicism between like you and the universe. And when you're manifesting, it's like the universe is your other half. Like you work together. And it's interesting because like twos are usually about making a choice. Like the Two of Pentacles is like very carefully like picking which seed you want to plant. Like if you have two of them, you're like, do I want to plant this one or this one? And then like letting that grow and bearing the fruit. And so I feel like for you in making choices, you don't have to make a hard choice between like, what do I want? Like I can either have this or this, which one do I want? I feel like this is more like the universe is asking you to choose two things. Two again. The universe is asking you to choose two things very carefully. It wants you to very clearly define and decide for yourself what kind of person you want to be when whatever you're manifesting manifests. And it wants you to very carefully determine what kind of life you want to live when you have it. Because there's something that's like not clarified there, that the universe is withholding, because it either wants that information to give you the best gift possible, or there's some nebulous thing there where if the universe gave this to you, it could be really harmful instead of helpful for you. So it just wants you to very clearly define to yourself, like, what kind of person do I want to be? And then start living as if you're that person already. Because like you should be. So if you want to be like stronger, if you want to be more independent, if you want to have better boundaries, if you want to be kinder, if you want to be more charitable, if you want to be like happier, more loving, more outgoing, if you want to wear like certain clothes that you're too scared to wear right now, like go do those things. Show the universe that you are that person that you want to be and you're going to be when you have the thing, and it'll give you the thing. But right now it's like, but you're not that person. And like your energy tells me like you're not going to be if I give it to you. You're just saying you'll be that person when I give it to you because you're like more or less just like fantasizing or daydreaming about it. But like, put your money where your mouth is. Like cash the checks your ass is writing. That's kind of like how the universe operates a little bit. So this is the card that's saying act as if, and then you'll have. So act as if, and the if will happen is the big message here for a lot of you out there. Okay, and then we're gonna move on. Let's go. I'm kind of staring at this pile. I thought it had 2 cards, but it has 3. But we're gonna look at it real quick. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, and I'm getting from this like one thing that stands out to me about the Knight of Pentacles a lot is like it's the slowest moving knight because it's the one that's acting like in the physical world, and like the physical world is kind of the one that's like the hardest sometimes to like get everything to like line up and mesh and move the way that it needs to. Like it's kind of easier to snap from like thought to thought to thought, like the Knight of Swords. It's a little harder to go from like physical thing to thing to thing. And that's not saying like it's hard, like more effort's required. It just means like sometimes it takes a little more time. Like if we're talking about how temporal things work and time scales. So one thing I'm hearing from like the Knight of Pentacles here is like the universe might feel slow to you, but it's inevitable. Like the Knight of Pentacles doesn't fail in delivering what it's delivering. It does it. And so the universe is kind of telling you like I will deliver. Like the message is out there. I'm gonna give it to you, but like I need something from you if you want this faster. And I think that's what these other 2 cards I'm holding are. So we have the 5 of Pentacles. And our other card I want to look at before I unpack these is the 8 of Wands. Okay. I love the 8 of Wands here because the 8 of Wands has the energy of like the actual response of the universe. So the 8 of Wands is that moment where like you send out like your intentions, your prayers, like your thoughts, your asks, your wants, your needs, and the universe answers in some way. Like this is the energy of that quiet pause, that stillness between when you send the message out and the response comes back to you. So when you talk to the universe and then the universe gets back to you, like this is that moment. And so the universe is kind of saying like it's quiet right now, but that doesn't mean I'm just sitting on my hands. And with the 5 of Pentacles, the 5 of Pentacles has a lot to do with like the perception of lack, but there isn't actual lack. So the 5 of Pentacles has a lot to do with like there's abundance near you, but for whatever reason, like you're not really seeing it. And the message I'm getting here is that if you want the universe to move a little bit faster, like you just have to do that classic manifestation advice where, or what I hope is classic for you if you got this from good sources, where you practice gratitude. Because it's like you have stuff to be grateful for, you have abundance, but you're ignoring it. Like you're blind to it. And it's not that it's hidden from you, it's that you're so fixated on what you don't have yet, like whatever it is you're trying to get. You're so fixated on what you don't have yet that it's actually like corrupting your energy and like you're sitting in a place of like desperation, neediness, lack. Um, for some of you, probably like jealousy of others who have this thing, and you're sitting in that energy that we just talked about. If other people are in that, get rid of them. um, and so it's like it's dampening the magnetism that you would have, and it's like it's quieting the call that the universe is trying to answer. And it's like if you practice more gratitude, you'll be in that energy more, it'll get stronger, it'll amplify, and you'll get rid of this like frustration and strife of lack, and you'll understand a lot. And I feel like a lot of you will have some revelations and grow from this, so that like you can receive this abundance like much better and be way better off for it than you originally thought you would if you just had it now. Um, and so the universe will be able to run at you faster, because right now it's like I can kind of hear you on like the wind over the horizon, and it's like, where exactly are you? Like, are you east? Are you north? Are you northeast? Like, what's going on? And it's kind of like it's heading towards you, and it will get there, but like it's gonna take it a while to like hone in. Whereas if you practice a lot of gratitude and you get rid of this like frustration and like sitting in the energy of like lack and all these other things we talked about, you'll be like so loud and so crisp and so clear. It'll go like, not only it won't just say like you're northeast, it'll do that like you're the honing in on the compass, where it's like you're like northeast but this many degrees northeast, you know. It'll just have like a much easier time giving you exactly what you want in the best way for you at the right time. Like that's how you can speed this up a little bit. Okay. We'll continue to the next message. Our next one, I guess, will be the middle one. So we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, which looks kind of like a 6, honestly. So there's that one. And then we have the Death card. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. And I want to keep them in their little formation. I know it looks chaotic, but like that's how I get messages, so you'll just have to bear with me. Okay. So in order for you to start a new journey of some kind of physical abundance, whether that be a person or people, belongings, money, food, new places like traveling, a new home, whatever it is, right? In order for you to start that new journey, something is dying. Like you're letting go of something. For some of you, I'm hearing ego death. So for some of you, like a relatively big transformation is needed. And relatively big transformation is needed doesn't mean this is hard, this is going to be long drawn out, it's never going to happen for you. Like that's only going to be that way if you subscribe to those ideas, okay? The fact that you're getting this in a message is a sign that you're ready for it, and it can happen quite easily. It's just when it happens, because it's a big change, it's going to be very obvious to you, and you're gonna feel a lot better, honestly. And you're gonna be really grateful it happened. And like later, for those of you that like need an ego death, because this isn't for everybody, but those of you who do have some kind of like death of the ego before you get started, like on this new like very abundant path, because you're like the path's getting kicked off by like receiving something huge, like whatever you're manifesting. You're actually gonna look back on this, like I'm seeing your future self is actually like grateful that it you didn't get what you wanted right when you wanted it, because you wouldn't have grown from it and you wouldn't have appreciated what you got, and you would have squandered it, is what I'm hearing. So don't get mad at me. Like don't shoot the messenger. I'm just entertainment on the internet, okay? Because if this message doesn't resonate, like that's literally all I am. So yeah. But okay, we have We have the death. So like you're letting go of like some belief or some part of you, and for some of you that could be as intense as like an ego death. And that kicks off like a journey, a new cycle that starts with you receiving this big thing you wanted from the universe. Because you are like a good creator. You're a great one. That's why the universe has like heard you. um, like you can't be really good at this without the universe hearing you and then like dedicating like a message or reading to you. Like you're awesome at this. Um, and then with the Nine of Pentacles here, I feel like this Nine of Pentacles is more than just like enjoying a lot of abundance. Because like your journey is getting kicked off by receiving a big amount of abundance. It's kicked off by receiving what you're trying to manifest here. I feel like this large amount of abundance. Oh, okay. If this message resonates, this one's like really important for you. Okay. Um, Not that I'm supposed to tell you that, but that's what I'm getting to relay to you. So the way this works, right, is you're going to receive something big from the universe, the thing you've been asking for. And because you had this awakening, like this ego death or culling a lot of ideas and beliefs that didn't serve you and certainly wouldn't serve you in the future, instead of squandering this big thing that you're receiving, this big thing is on its own, not an end product, but a seed, and it's growing and it's flourishing and it's turning into something bigger than you could have even imagined. And that will lead you to have the comfort, the safety, the time, the energy, the ability, whatever it is, to grow even further, um, and like level up even further and start more new journeys. I'm hearing something about like a karmic cycle. So for some of you, part of this is going to be when this thing you have flourishes into something huge, you're going to be receiving a lot of really good karma for it. So like if you're getting a lot of money, that's going to like multiply very quickly, and you're going to take some of that and like do a lot of good for others in the world and spread a lot of like love and joy to a lot of places that like don't have the ability to have what you have. Like you're just doing very charitable things. Um, like that could be like helping impoverished places, like helping people get food that don't have food as regularly as like we would hope everyone does. Like paying a lot of money to clean up the oceans, or like donating a lot to like a new like cancer research. Or maybe you're gonna finally like take over the production of insulin and make it like affordable for everybody out there that like needs it. I don't know what you're doing, something huge. But it's gonna net you a lot of really good karma, and like that's gonna like you're gonna cash some of it in this lifetime. And I know it's weird to think about karma that way. But this is just the message I'm hearing. You're going to cash some of that good karma in this lifetime to get more abundance, to keep doing more good. And part of the good karma you're cashing in is you're actually like ridding yourself of like things that you didn't know you wanted to get rid of. So if you wanted more ego deaths, that's what you're doing. If you wanted to like let go of like past like traumas and demons, like you're going to be able to let go of them a lot sooner than your higher self or your soul understands it would have, because you're cashing a good karma. So in other words, you're actually like um you're accelerating your growth that you thought was supposed to be over multiple lifetimes with this cycle, and you're actually like surprising your higher self. And like you didn't think this was something you were going to achieve now, which is really, really cool and exciting. And, you know, like if this message resonates with you, your higher self is really proud of yourself. Okay, so the last the last message we have on the table is 4 cards, actually. And I kind of want to look at them this way. So we have the 7 of Cups. We have the King of Swords in reverse. Kind of want to. Okay. We have the Page of Cups. And then we have the Ace of Wands. I kind of want to. I don't know. Okay. So for the last message here, we have another ace. We have the Ace of Wands. So this is like another new beginning. But I'm kind of seeing this be like an emotional beginning for you. And with the way that it's overlapping over the Otter Spirit and the You're Never Alone, and I keep pointing at this when I'm like talking about the universe, I feel like you're going on a new journey about like ideals and beliefs and like passions. Like it's not quite the same as like the Cups energy, which is like your emotions like internally. But I feel like you're going on a new, like, I'm hearing passion journey, if that means anything to you. Um, that has to do with these cards over here. And we do have a lot of cups, like there's a lot of emotional work or fulfillment that's being done. What I'm really getting from this pile is that like you're kind of rediscovering your relationship with the universe, because I feel like because you felt that the universe failed you or ignored you or was being cruel in some way for a very long time by withholding this from you, that misunderstanding like made you harbor a lot of like resentment or like ill will towards the universe. Like you just feel like it doesn't actually have your back. Like when you think of the universe, you don't think of like these 2 little guys cuddling. You think of like you facing someone and like their back being turned to you and them like refusing to turn around is more the energy I'm getting. So if that resonates with you, like this little message is for you. And this one's talking about how like you're going to understand very shortly, is what I'm hearing, why you didn't get this message sooner and why you didn't get this like gift or manifestation sooner. And you're gonna understand like that the universe actually had its best interests and your best interests at heart by not giving it to you on the timetable you asked for. Kind of like when we were talking about how the parent won't give the kid more ice cream on the same day because they'll get sick, but like maybe they can have some tomorrow. Um, and when I originally put this Ace of Wands down, I put it over the 9 of Pentacles. And so I think what the universe is saying is like, after you receive the gift from it, you're going to understand, like everything's going to be made clear, and you're kind of going to clear up this misunderstanding between you and the universe, and you're going to feel better about your relationship with it. So like the pages are iconic for exploring the world like in the lens of that suit, but in like a brand new, like not naive, a little naive, but like a fresh way. Like they just see things with like a new set of eyes and like a blank page. um, and I think that's what you're doing when you look at the universe, is like you're gonna kind of like erase the whiteboard, like wipe the slate clean, and you're gonna see your relationship like totally different than you did before. Because I think the universe has been trying to send you a lot of signs and explanations of like, hey, we want to give it to you, but like not yet, because it won't be good for you. Like you'll regret it. Like it'll hurt. um, and either you weren't able to hear it or see those messages for what they are, because even though the universe tries their hardest, sometimes they're really cryptic, or like we're so busy being humans that like we can't hear it because we're not like tuned into like higher frequencies all the time. Like being a person is hard, living life is hard. And that's part of what like me delivering this message is like the universe is using a human as their new medium to give you this message, because the spoken language over the internet is like really freaking direct. Whereas maybe like some more subtle things it had the ability to do earlier like weren't quite getting through. um, what I'm seeing with these last two cards here are two different messages. So if either of them resonate, take them, leave the rest if they don't. But the Seven of Cups is the energy of like redefining things and like rewriting your own story and taking the initiative to ask for help, reach out, or go for certain opportunities. It's also an energy that shows that like there are no wrong answers and like all opportunities are good ones at this time. And I feel like that's being clouded by the King of Swords in reverse, which in this case, I don't think this is your energy. I think this is how you perceive somebody else, like the universe, where you're clouded from seeing like how there are all of these opportunities in front of you and how like you are going to get what you want and there's a million ways to get there. And the other way of thinking about that is like the universe is going to give you what you manifested, but there's a million and one ways in which it can do that for you. Like the possibilities are endless on that one because the universe is infinite. And what I'm seeing with the King of Swords here is that you can't see in all the ways the universe is taking care of you now and working to get you what you want, because you see the universe as being very like cruel and self-serving and like having left you out like in the cold basically. um and it's like if you're not doing stuff for it or the way that it wants, it's not going to give you what it wants. But like that's inherently not how the universe operates. And I see that that like we talked about with the Ace of Wands and the Page of Cups, like that perception is going to change. I think the second message is for those of you who need to do a little bit of work, like we talked about over here, if this message resonated, where some of the work that could really help you is in understanding that like there are some people who are cruel and self-serving, and they just want to suck you dry, but there's a lot of people who aren't like that out there, and there's a lot of energies that aren't like that out there. And I think when you move away from people that are like this and you choose to live your life um, only like inviting and allowing people who are not like this to take up space in your life, like that's when you're going to realize how many opportunities are open to you. And from those opportunities, the universe will be able to give you what you've been trying to manifest. So, like, those are the two things I see here. But either way, um, I see like everyone as one of the big blessings you're getting, besides what you've been trying to manifest, is you're getting this like newfound perspective on life and how the universe works. And it's going to feel a lot better than what you've been thinking right now. It's a lot more comforting to subscribe to the idea that like the universe actually is on your side and it's working in your best interests, even if you can't see them and you have no idea what they are. Um, or you think you know what they are and they're not happening on the timetable that you want. So that's the last part of this reading that I have for you. And it was a little bit of a longer one, but there was a lot to unpack here. I hope that it was helpful. And I'm really excited to see what it is that you guys like have been manifesting and will be successful. And the other thing I want to point out one more time is that like this reading is supposed to go from either full moon to full moon, or because timeless reading, and if you're not near a full moon when this resonates with you, it's the next like 2 to 3 weeks of your life. So you're gonna start doing the work, or you're gonna see everything pay off, or really, like receive your manifestations after you do some of this work, within just a couple weeks for a lot of you. So that doesn't mean everyone's gonna get exactly what they want in a couple weeks, but it means like you're gonna be moving through a lot of really powerful energy to be in a position to where like you're ready to receive what you want in a healthy way in a couple weeks here. And like that's pretty fast, especially considering how a lot of you have been working on this for like a really long time. So with that, I want to thank you one more time for picking me as your reader and allowing me to talk about this subject with you, because like there was a lot here and some of it was a little tough to hear. And then I just want to, off of that, say, because I have no idea specifically what you're manifesting, since this is a general reading, and I would love to know and hear from you so I can further support you. Feel free to leave a comment below this video and let me know what's going on, or support other pile threes. You can also, if you want to keep things more private, you can email us. Our email is in the video description. If you want to support us in other ways, you can like and subscribe. It's free, it doesn't cost you anything, I promise. And then if you want to donate to us, because I had someone ask, we're not doing donations. Instead, we have a Patreon. And that way, if you do want to give us money, you get something in return. Because I would like to keep the giving going. Also, if you want to buy any of the crystals that you've seen in this video, you can do so at our website, lunaticclick.com. There's a link in the description as well. So if you want like a memento from a reading that was important to you, or you just like the way some of them look, you can absolutely do that. And that is all I have for you. So with that, I would just like to wish you love, happiness, and luck on this big journey, this big endeavor that you're working on. And I will see you next time in a brand new reading.